So this is a follow-up video to the video I did last week with my buddy Mike and his 1970 f100 bump side. Now his truck has the Crown Vic Swap in it, which is a full front end swap with the Crown Vic engine, Crown Vic automatic transmission, full suspension, disc brakes, the whole 9 yards. This truck is my 1966 Slick 60. It has the original 352 V8 in it, and it has the original 3-speed column shift transmission. This truck is pretty much bone stock. There's really nothing that I've done to it except I put an electric fan in and replaced the fan that was the original fan that was in there, and I put a Holley carburetor in there, and then I upgraded the air conditioning. It just had heat, and I added an air conditioning unit to it. But other than that, this truck is bone stock. And so what I wanted to do is just kind of a driving compare after driving his, and then to kind of drive this one around a bit. Now, Mike's truck drove amazingly well. I mean, you are basically driving a Crown Vic car. So what they do when they do those Crown Vic swaps is they cut the whole front end out of the truck. They weld in the front end from the Crown Vic in with the engine, transmission, everything already in it. You remove the dash that's in here, all the dash electronics. You put the Crown Vic dash electronics in. There are some aftermarket upgrades to kind of make them look vintage with their digital. Some of them even have the Crown Vic steering column because you basically have power steering instead of this rack and pinion that I've set up that I've got. No power steering here. And now what you've got is a full Crown Vic. You've taken your truck body and basically laid it onto it and you've welded in the frame. That makes for an incredible ride. I really enjoyed driving it. It was like driving a car. It was, you could do road trips in that thing. Not that I haven't done road trips in this. I've actually driven it back and forth to Montana, and I've driven it back and forth to Nashville twice. So it's just, it's like driving a tractor on the highway. You just kind of go the speed that it can go, but I can ride fine at 80 miles an hour, no problem. So anyway, yeah, the idea here is to just kind of do a compare, and then after doing a lot of research on these two vehicles, what it would take to do the Crown Vic swap in this. So some considerations, like should I do the Crown Vic swap in this truck? And so I watched a lot of videos, kind of did more research on it, really enjoyed the ride, but honestly I've decided not to do it. And there is a couple main reasons. Number one, this truck runs amazingly well. It starts up. I've got no mechanical issues with this at this time. If that changes in the future, that's something that I'll consider. But as of right now, I've got no mechanical issues. I'm good. I like the truck the way it is. The second thing is you are cutting out your whole front end and putting the truck body on top of that Crown Vic front end suspension. You have to lower, when that happens, it lowers it by about 2 to 3 inches. You have to lower the rear as well to kind of match by notching it out. So you're doing a lot of irreversible modifications to the truck in order to make that work out. That's fine. It gives you an amazing stance. It gives you an incredible look. But at this point, you no longer have a truck. You essentially have a car. Now, I use this as a truck. As you can tell, it's not in show condition. It's not in amazing condition. It's in great running mechanical condition, but it's not in like amazing, you can take it to car shows condition. And so I use it as a truck. In fact, a couple weeks ago, I just took a load. We're doing some work on the house. I just took a load to the dump, and they weighed it at just over 900 pounds. I also put motorcycles in the back of it. You're not going to be doing that on Crown Vic suspension. So if that's something that I was to do in the future, I would have to just realize that at that point, I need another truck. again, another reason is this has the twin I-beam suspension. In fact, it says it right in bold on the outside. Ford was really proud of that twin I-beam when it came out. In fact, here's some vintage commercials of Ford talking about their twin I-beam in 1965, 1966, all the way through.
Here is visual proof of how Ford gives you the world's smoothest pickup ride. A jet spray is attached to an axle to record every road shock. A second jet is attached to the cab to reveal how few of the road shocks reach the driver. Ford rides smoother because its rugged twin I-beam suspension has two front axles, so each wheel can step over bumps independently. Here you have visual proof that even on rough roads, your ride will be smooth in a Ford. Drive the world's smoothest riding pickup at your Ford dealer.
They ran that twin I-beam suspension up to 2002. And in fact, the Ford F250, 350, 450 chassis, they're still using that. So, 50 plus some years later, the suspension that came out in 65 and in 66, they're still using it. It works well. I love it. I think it works great. And I'm not really wanting to cut out that twin I-beam suspension out of this truck. And I guess one of the reasons is in my mind, it kind of no longer is what the truck originally was once that happens. That's totally fine. But it does say on the outside, huge emblem, twin I-beam. So that's just me. Like, that's just kind of my vanity, if you will. I got my buddy Fritz with me today. So I bought this truck in 2010 on the film set of the movie Unconditional. So we were shooting Unconditional in Nashville, and I really loved being a part of that project and just being on set every day. And I'm glad that I have those memories. It was kind of awesome. But the movie called for a number of vehicles, and I had secured all of the vehicles except the main vehicle for the film, which it called for a classic Ford truck. I don't think they meant quite this classic. I think they were thinking of something like more of a later 70s, 80s model. But in any event, I had a hard time finding someone because we needed the truck for such a long period of time for the whole shoot, because it's the main vehicle in the truck. A lot of the other vehicles, you only need them for a couple days or a day at the most. So really did have a hard time finding someone that would let me rent their truck for that period of time. And so we had eventually decided, all right, here's what we'll do as a production company. We'll just buy a truck and then sell it when the film is over. And so we started, looking for a truck to buy. Just had started beginning that search, and then one of the crew members was at a gas station. I think they were in the props department. They were in a gas station filling up. They saw the owner of this truck filling up, and they said, hey, we'd like to rent the truck for the film. He said the truck's actually for sale. Don't really want to rent it out for that period of time, but I would sell it to you guys. So they called me. I actually didn't know anything about the truck. I wasn't in the market for a truck at the time, or a car, or anything. So I rode out to the guy's house, checked it out, and I just instantly fell in love with it. Just the moment I saw it, I knew that I had to have this truck. So I worked it out with the producers that I would personally buy the truck, and then I would let the film use it. And so, we made the deal, we secured the truck, and then I had a custom front end receiver welded in so that we could put a tow package on, because we didn't have a process trailer. So we towed this truck with another truck for a lot of the tight driving shots, and just kind of had it in neutral, towed it around. That worked great. because the main actress in the film used her then dead husband's truck, kind of. She kept it. So that was kind of the plot for how this played in. And so what wound up happening was, for the scenes that required driving, since this has a 3-speed on the column, no one except myself could actually drive it. And so in the film, for those scenes, I'm actually the one driving the truck. I've got a red wig on. I've got her clothes on, a little bit smaller at the time. Fortunately, they fit. Didn't have a beard, and so they just kind of held the camera away. Those were mostly night scenes anyway, and so kind of fun fact about that. So the film was in the theaters for a short period of time, but in any event, all these years later, I still have the truck. I love it. I don't plan on getting rid of it. My daughter actually says it's her truck. This is the only thing that I own that she's laid claim to and that she wants. So when it comes to the Crown Vic Swap, I'll need to have a conversation with her when it comes time to pass this on as to whether she wants the 3 on the tree, the carbureted, the truck the way it is now, or if she wants to not use it as a truck, have it as something that she's driving around, drop it down a bit. That might be a great option to get the automatic transmission, something a little bit more reliable for her. I don't know. That's a conversation that'll have to happen. She's kind of old school like me, though, and likes things to be the way that they are supposed to be. So I think that there's a good chance that she will just learn how to drive it as is, as she does with, she's got 2 vintage Volkswagens right now, and that's how she likes them. So we'll see how it goes. But, there it is. I love this truck. I love it the way it is. I love Mike's truck. It's a toss-up. It depends on what you want to do with yours. So, thank you. For now, I'm just going to keep driving.